Hi, this is Joby Provido, and you're listening to Contemplating the Rosary, where we talk about how to pray the Holy Rosary even better. In 104 episodes, over 4 seasons, we will explore a method of how to say the Rosary the way Pope St. John Paul II, Pope Paul VI, and other Rosary advocates recommend, and that's by contemplating the mysteries while we say the Our Father, Hail Mary, and Glory Be. This podcast is based on the book Beyond the Veil, Contemplating the Mysteries of the Holy Rosary, available at Lazada in the Philippines and in print or Kindle on Amazon, wherever you are. Visit kindlingspress.com for more information and where you can read and download the episode guide. This is episode 60 of the series, the 7th episode of season 3. It's nice to have you back here listening in on how we can pray the Rosary the contemplative way. Today, as we always do in between sets of mysteries, we'll do a Lighthouse episode. And this time we'll be talking about handling distractions while praying. I think anyone who prays notices that they can get distracted one time or another. And there are some days, for example, you are perfectly focused. But some days, the littlest things can be so distracting, and that is our human nature, and we have to work with it. We already know that we can get distracted, so the first step is preventive. We need to find ways of not getting distracted. That may mean finding a time that is suitable for you. Maybe the morning is too distracting for you because you are constantly thinking of what you need to do for the day. Then pray at night. If night is a distracting time for you because the memories of the day keep inserting themselves as you pray, pray during the day. Bottom line is to find a time that has the least distraction. Me, I like to do my mental prayer in the morning because my mind is fresh. It isn't very active. So for me, that's the best time for that type of prayer. If I can't say my rosary in a chapel, I like to pray my rosary just before going to bed. That's because my body is winding down and the slow rhythm of the rosary prayers match the slowing down of activity. Now, that's for me. Depending on your schedule and environment, it might be totally different. The place is also important. If you find that you are easily distracted by movement, a quiet room far from where people are is better than praying in the living room where everybody passes. Otherwise, you are setting yourself up for distraction. I like to pray in the quiet of my bedroom where I have an image of Our Lady and I have a small crucifix I can hold while praying. So when you have a consistent time and place, it's like having an appointment with our Lord every day. What I like about a regular schedule is that I can prepare for it. That is helpful in prayer. Sometimes when you go to prayer empty-handed, it's easier for your mind to drift. But if you know you will be talking to our Lord in such and such a time, in such and such a place, you can gather the little events during the day and night and bring them to that appointment with our Lord. There's something to talk about, and that's particularly good for mental prayer, for example. For the Rosary, it's the same thing, but for Our Lady. Gather the little things you want to give her or bring to her attention, so that in your Rosary you can pray for those intentions. Position of the body is also important. If you are kneeling and it is causing back pains or leg pains, sit down instead. Personally, I think it is better to be comfortable so you can pray better than suffering during prayer, but not being able to pray well at all. Of course, that's just my opinion. Even if we have tried to set up everything for the least distractions, it will happen. I know, for instance, when I'm not feeling too well, I am more prone to distractions, and no matter what I do, I can't help it. Or maybe some of us are under medication whose unintended side effect is a lack of focus. Distractions seep in more easily in these cases. So yes, regardless of how much we prepare so that we won't be distracted, there might be some times we will be distracted. And when we are faced with a distraction, we can think of it as a choice. Does this distraction merit more attention than our Lord? Of course not. So in such a case, just soldier on. The moment you realize you are distracted, just switch back your focus and move forward in prayer. Don't try to analyze the situation because that's a distraction too. You'd be falling into a rabbit hole of analysis, which will lead you to thinking of other things. So the moment you realize you are distracted, just refocus. I know it is easier said than done, but just like anything, we can become better at fighting distractions. The more we fight distractions, the better we will get at it. The worst thing we can do is to think it is useless to fight because we'll just let distractions take over and our prayers become mechanical, and that's something we shouldn't allow. I think if we immerse ourselves in the mysteries by putting ourselves in the scenes, the distractions will be greatly lessened. That's because our minds are actively thinking of the mystery at hand. We make our mind so busy that it has no time to be distracted. And that is how praying the rosary the contemplative way is a good way. That's our episode for today. Next episode will start with the luminous mysteries with all new insights, explorations, and imaginations. Please don't forget to like this episode, click the subscribe button and bell icon so you'll be notified when the next episode drops. As always, this podcast is brought to you by thecatholictalks.com and kindlingspress.com, where you can read more articles on the Catholic faith and find more books on Catholicism. This has been Joby Provido. I'll say goodbye for now, and please join me again next time when we can learn to pray the rosary better. Bye-bye.